You can put potential in one hand and crap in the other and see which fills up first. That's how I feel about bad guys' prospects here. We're here for viewer games. We got some Phobies viewer games on deck. We actually have a lot. Like, a ton of them. I'm going to have to take a break midway through because I've been staring at my computer screen for hours and hours and hours today because I've been working on a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to probably have to take a break midway through and refill water and stuff. I just want to point out, I love the art that the team does for this stuff. I think it's always really cool, and I know this is technically just taking the art assets and collaging them together, but they always seem to look really cool. This one in particular is for summer sale, which I don't care. But the art looks sweet. Hashtag just saying. Also just saying, I am part of the content affiliate program. That means that the Phobies team does in fact give me coffee for producing Phobies content. Phobies content, such as these viewer games, and a coffee total, oh my god, once we get through all the pop-ups, such as this 104,000 total. If you're curious, that's how it happened. You got to talk to the Phobies team about joining the content affiliate program. I've had people ask. I don't know. I don't even know if they're accepting anybody at this point. I assume they are. I don't know, but hit them up in the official Discord. There you go. So we're going to be jumping in. We do have a few dupes, which I don't think we're going to have to cover tonight because we do have, as mentioned, a number of people. Got a full docket. Let's hope that all the games are on the profile. Starting off strong with Painful Fate on Rugged Footing, which I don't believe we've seen any games on yet. No, we did. I think we saw one. I don't know. No notes for this one. No notes. We'll just get into it. So how's everybody doing out there? Hope that everybody's having a good start. I didn't call it out at the beginning, I should have, but if you are aware of any of the tournament games that are cool, fun, interesting, exciting, between two high-level players, whatever, I don't care. Let me know. Somebody did mention one of the games from the previous round. It's probably fallen off everybody's profile by now, but I would like to do one per round at least. I want to give more energy to this, but I haven't. I've been just working on a lot of stuff. I haven't been able to follow it that closely myself. If people don't let me know, I'm probably just going to pick one, and then hopefully it's good. But I'm sure there are people following this much more closely than I am at the moment. I'd love to know which games to focus on. Otherwise, I'm just going to look for a name that I recognize in the bracket and say, yep, we're looking at their game, and hopefully it isn't like a 7-turn game where they squash somebody in heebie-jeebies or something. There's always the risk of that. And there is supposed to be, word on the street, that there's going to be more tournaments coming down the pipeline. I am cautiously optimistic. I have now moved, we'll say moved stages from I'll believe it when I see it, which is doubting in the extreme, to, yeah, that doesn't sound impossible. We'll see how it goes. What the hell is happening right now? Are we going to move the droney? All right, good. I knew that one of the I assumed that the Tooth Fairy was going there, but, oh, that reminds me. So I did get something cool, chat. Unfortunately for Phobies, this isn't really going to work too well because it does cut off the sound, but we do get the telestrator, and I don't have to, like, jump through a lot of hoops, but there's also something cool I can do, which is this. Let's see if we can get any kind of interesting play that's happening. Now, we got this, which is the same setup. Ah, you like that? Got little stickers. How about that? And then I'm going to highlight things with my logo and then just be like, there's an arrow, sort of. Problem is that it cuts out the sound. There's no way to solve that because I have to change focus for the window. It is what it is. This is different from, it's an actual in-OBS plugin as compared to me using Microsoft Paint, which isn't bad, but it would obscure what I was doing. This is more manageable if I go down to like a single monitor setup, which if my PC keeps cooking, maybe shifting PCs, and I could have some other issues. I gotta replace one of my monitors anyway. I've been yapping a lot, but we haven't really talked a lot about this game. There hasn't really been much going on. Our hero has kind of been in control most of this. Since there were no notes, I don't know if there's something we're supposed to be focusing on. Get a quick snipe there. Droney kills are always amusing. This map just seems obnoxious to navigate. A lot of panic point pressure, but it's a big map, so it is what it is. Miss Moffat with the takedown. Little paddles action. We've been seeing a lot more paddles since the nerfs and buffs. It's pretty cool. I haven't seen too much Ash, though. We did have a viewer game last week, or maybe the week before, that was highlighting Ash, but it was like, yeah, it's fine. Lot of flyers coming out. This kind of reminds me of This Might Sting a little, or This Might Sting a Bit, whatever the map is called, where you do have a fairly decent advantage if you have access to more flyers than your opponent. Is this a spider kill? Oof. I actually love the body block there with the snowball as well, because there was a world where you get a Paddles Finnegan play that goes in and tries to boop, say, the Daisy. I don't know if it goes up or down. I want to say it would have gone down, but either way. We're going to get a Hematic takedown instead. Yikes! That's not where you want to be. Our hero just feeling bad for bad guy. Wanted to pull him back into the game. Just like, come on, buddy. Come on. Come with me. I know I've been sitting at my computer too long when my carpal tunnel starts acting up. It doesn't really hurt, but it's like a weird numbness going from my elbow through my pinky. Doesn't feel great. Finnegan paying for his sins. You will atone for your sins, Finnegan. Atonement has been meted. Fetch, huh? The boop's so nice, we wanted to do it again. It's not how that saying goes. Bad guy's got 7 keys and a dream. But as I always say, you can crap in one hand and fill the other with potential. That's not how the saying goes. You can put potential in one hand and crap in the other and see which fills up first. That's how I feel about bad guys' prospects here. We'll see if that one... So YouTube's rules are like, you can't curse in the first 10 seconds or so. I think that... Well, like, if I use that in the front, I assume that's outside 10 seconds, but I also don't know how YouTube feels about the word crap. Max out to max out. Oh, no, not maxed out. However, our hero still has 7 keys. The sheep is going to go in, and it's going to die. And one of these is a resurrect phobie, so it's kind of a big who cares. Unless, are we going to Clopster in? Okay. Wait. I guess that's fine. I guess. Because if you leave the Clopster there, it's possible the Clopster and the sheep die. Yeah, because the sheep is just going to get booped. Or could just get booped. We get a boop on the Hematic. I have to presume the Hematic dies here. Really? Is Tooth Fairy and 2 creep attacks enough? Alright, Hematic down. Ooh, Hercules! Let's go, buddy. Oh no, Creep goes down. I mean, our heroes, like, they have some room to give. Get a couple kills here, but it doesn't matter. Pow. Oh, bad guy making a game of it. Bad guy is making a game of it. Trying to, anyway, but, Hercules is a lot of HP and a lot of damage. It's a big boy. Kill the murder wing, I guess. We made a big... What is it? Killer bees? What is the ability named? Murder of bees. That would be an apt description for what's about to happen. I think, honestly, the dimensional damage is part of going to be what does bad guy in here. Two attacks. And a ball game. GG. Well played, Painful Fate. Even though we skipped the first half of the game. GG. Alright. Oh, there are more pop-ups. God damn. It don't stop. August is almost over, chat. It's almost over. This year is going by pretty quick. Once we got past, like, April, the summer went by really fast. Alright, killerFrost on the Burning Rings. Dragon hunting. Let's see what them thar dragons be hunted. You know, I haven't been really tuned in for a while now. Let's be real. But I don't know what the general community consensus on the new maps is. Whether people like them, hate them. I've seen a few comments on some of the smaller maps being relatively linear in the sense that they like the strategies are both readily apparent and singular purpose, but then I also saw people contesting that idea. So it's not like, oh, well, you must do these things. So I'm not sure. I'm not really clear on how people feel about it in general, so feel free to leave your thoughts down in the comments or in Discord. So are we not hunting dragons? We are hunting with dragons, because that seems like it's also possibly on the docket here. Innocuous. All right. I mean, bad guy does have a panic point advantage thanks to the center. I assume we're going to vomit on this guy. Because that was only a one move, right? Ooh, interesting. We're not going to puke on the Spud. Unless that was a double move and I thought it was a single move for some reason. I kind of looked away for a moment. I don't think bad guy... Oh. Maybe it's both hunting dragons with dragons? I don't know. Bad guy didn't really have to overextend if the damage was there, so I'm going to assume that Noxious was not a viable target. That's some interesting positioning there. Alright, it's the War of the Dragons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 3 panic point advantage. 705 is a lot. Wait, 705. Is this level 1? No. Finnegan giving Henrietta the Gollum treatment. Alright, it is really the Dragon War. Is there any other dragon phobies? I don't think there are any. Instead of putting viewer games on thumbnail, should I put Do You Like Dragons? Speaking of Ash. Interesting. Why do we have an Ash? I guess, so you could go in and blom and then pull back. But because of the lava, I don't even know. I mean, it would clearly save you some amount of damage, but is that worth it? Alright, so we could have puked on this fucking spud like 3 months ago. What are we doing? Alright, a little hit and run, a la Billy. Really? Dude, when was the last time you saw Gonzo juice a creep? That is not... It's not normal. I mean, it's a good play. It's not normal. We get a bomb as retaliation. And take a little bit of fire damage here. That's a lot of effort to kill a fucking creep. We do have a muffin on standby. Has Ash done enough? Like, is one pull enough with Ash? You gotta save Puff here, right? I'm sitting farther back, so I'm moving the mic. I'm being more relaxed, chat. Clinico. Alright, so 6 of one, half dozen of the other. It was gonna have to be Clinico to make this happen anyway. The dragon standoff continues. 11 keys to 12. We're still very even at the moment. I wish in the overlay, we've talked about this before, that I want, like... I don't want to have to click on each individual phobie to see their cooldowns. It would be nice to have, like, a drop-down, like, right hand, like, right under here. You can see where I'm pointing, like, just straight up and down. A list of all the cooldowns. So I could see how long till Gonzo, how long till Ash, how long till Clinico, how long till Snowball, how long till Noxious, etc. Hey, speaking of Billy. We did the Billy impression and we summoned him. I wonder if at any point in development, the fire phobies, this is a good heads-up bomb to chip down the opposing dragons. I wonder if at any point in development, fire tiles were actually just lava tiles. So, like, if Billy hits you, it would just drop a lava tile under you. I'm sure they quickly diverged and split into two concepts because, like, do the lava tiles scale? Why is this lava tile different than this one on the map? And it's confusing to low information players, but I'm sure at one point they were all the same. So, Gonzo? Okay, that's a cool play. Oh, we're just getting an attack? Alright. I mean, still a cool play with Ash. More vomit. That's a dead puff. Very strong play there. I like that a lot. I don't love this smiley. 5 keys to 3. Bad guy's certainly not out of it. If the smiley can get disease onto maybe the puff and one other phobie, which would have to be Noxious Billy or Ash. Hit and run. Maybe? Hit and run. The classic Billy plan that everybody loved. Everyone was salivating for. Definitely nothing wrong with it. I like the Rusty anti-smiley play here. Try and lock him down. Bad guy kind of taking their smiley out of the game to a degree. Because this Rusty's presumably going to lock it down. Does give bad guy a sizable panic point advantage. Not humongous, but it is an advantage. Oh, I thought we were going to get another Ash pull for a second. Ice Cream? This puff feels like it's getting hung out there as bait. But I think we're trying to bait an Ice Cream play, maybe? So you could drop Ash down, pull. I think it pulls Ice Cream forward. Never mind. We're pulling Billy. Oh, it's about to get messy. Kapow! We're also potential good Blom here. Nope, we're just gonna cook him. I think that's a better line than I was gonna take. I think that was a much better line than I was going to take. And that's the ball game. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. GG. All right, that's enough of that. That's enough of that. Oh, no. No. Okay. I was going to scream soupy into the mic. But the mic is like not even an inch from my face. So it would be very, very loud. So instead, we're going to pretend like this is a golf match. Soupy 510 is our hero. Splash damage all around. Here on Like and Subscribe. With a game they did not favorite. Shame. Shame. Oh, God damn it, game. I've been trying to click on Mopsy because I don't understand why Mopsy's here. But Mopsy is here for no reason. Early panic point advantage to our hero. Taking over the game so far. However, they are giving up the center tile. Neither player electing for Gravedigger, which is one of the more common openers on this particular map. At it. What's good? Based on the audio mixer, it seems like everybody should hear me fine, but I don't know if that's actually true. It may or may not actually be cutting out because of the sound floor. Plus, I can't keep that up the whole time. It's actually bothering me. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Sheep early on. 4K. Counter sheep. Why is the sheep sweat when it moves? You ever notice that? The little, like, stress animation? See? Like, do any other phobies have that? Or is just sheep the one that's easily exhausted? By the way, our hero banked to 12 keys for reasons unknown. I have to assume they're not high enough stress level in order to have access to, like, Snowball. Honestly, bad guy's kind of assembling a fairly frightening team here. Into the retreat. Well played. Alligator. Interesting. I don't know about that one. I mean, if we're talking low collection, low stress level, that's fine. I do love alligator, but it's just not a hugely impactful phobia because it's just big dummy stats. What exactly does that accomplish? That might actually be more beneficial to our hero, hypothetically. It does extend the range of the erratic, so I guess there's that, but... we're just gonna play to the board, apparently. Stabby coming down. Panic point advantage, and bad guy needs to try and contest, but they got a one mover who's not going to be able to rotate very easily. Crushmore can't get into a great position right out of the gate. Fish tank. Fish tank probably not going where he's needed. That does nothing. Why are we doing that? That's like the most cat thing to do, isn't it? Just walk up to an alligator and slap it on the nose for no apparent reason. Especially when it accomplishes nothing other than your own demise. Got him. Oh, bad guy about to get the hurt put on him. Let's see if bad guy knows that they're extending the range with that block. Because I kind of get the sense they don't know that that's a play. I don't know why, but I have that gut feeling. Maybe? Okay. They know. They know. Into a spider. I feel as though bad guy's in a pretty... bad guy's in a bad spot. Hero's in a pretty good spot. I don't love that. Could you not have killed the erratic? You could have killed that erratic. So you just bop it twice with the klepto, and then shoot it with the stabby. And voila, it's a dead erratic. Instead, I'm gonna take a big hurt in here. We're about to find out if our hero is at a stress level where you have access to healing phobies or not. And Heart Explosion. Apparently a dead Crushmore. That's a good pickup. Dead Sheep. Good trade. Erratic. Still out of position, unfortunately. The old Shove Shark, huh? Haven't seen that guy in a while. Yeah, this is going to be a mincemeat alligator. Some meat tenderization, we'll say. Oof. Alligator looks kind of cool there, even though I know it's this get hit animation. I think alligator just looks cool. I don't know, I like alligators. I think they're cool animals. Most animals are cool. Except for, like, ticks. Mosquitoes. Fuck those guys. I think I remember hearing something that ticks don't really serve an ecological purpose. You know, like, they can be eaten, but they aren't, like, the primary foodstuff of things that would prey on them. I never verified that, so don't quote me on it. Like, I'm not a biologist. I don't know for sure. But it would be interesting to learn that, because they're a creature that I don't think we really need. Just saying. GG. Well played there, Soupy. No, we kind of got off topic there towards the end. But it's hot here, chat. It's very warm. I'm uncomfortable. Feeling a little loopy. Frustrated for a couple tournaments that are coming up. Not Phobies. I'd rather be playing Phobies. Ooh. It's been a little bit since Hoploy was the bad guy. nuclrardeath, bringing it back. I decided to run Graylian plus Frosty. Didn't get to pull off the full combo, but the threat was essential for the W. Well, let's see. Who's pinging me in Discord? Why am I getting so many pings? It's always while I'm streaming. Mindbug. You got an announcement? I haven't played that in a while. I should play that. Ooh, their national champs are happening. Why would you announce... Hey, here's a tournament for our national championship. It's happening in 3 days. Like, come on! Give me more lead time, please. Anyway, Hole of Mirrors. What do we got here? We got some turret standoffs. I wonder how difficult it would be for the team. What is happening right now? Did you really just pass back and forth twice? Well, it's a Blast-O-Matic. I wonder how difficult it would be for the team to, like, reskin existing maps. So, like, Hall of Mirrors, but with the Graveyard theme. Or Hall of Mirrors with the, like, the Xylo bluish-red theme. That sort of thing. Because presumably it's not like hard-coded so that Hall of Mirrors is always going to look like this. Every map has, like, here's the background you're going to show, and then here's the tile set you're going to use. And presumably it's modular, so you could just change the variable for what it points at, you know what I mean? Or you could even have, hypothetically, like, this background, but with the graveyard tile set, or the graveyard background with this tile set. Which honestly would kind of fit. I think that would be interesting. It's kind of a useless quality of life thing that I think would be kind of nice. Banking to 9. Gotta hide from that Firkin, I guess. This map feels really stupid. I'm not gonna lie. Hopefully I'm not screeching in everybody's ears moving the mic. There's not much water left. And there is the Graylian. So now there are 2 respectable targets for Firkin. Although the Firkin can actually turn off the Graylian right now. And 4 range is ridiculous. It is so far. Pow goes the cassowary. Alright, so we do get a power down. This is going to lock out Graylian. Doc Holliday. I know Doc Holliday was a problem. We just never really saw him that much. I think the people who submitted viewer games just didn't own Doc Holliday, typically. I'm sure some of them did, but I haven't seen him in a little bit. Alright, now Frosty is kind of free to engage. I don't know if this is necessarily a Graylian thing, but I do agree that having, like, overloading your opponent's responses, like, Hoploy's only option here was to Firkin the Frosty, right? Dude, that can't be correct. Okay, how are we positioning this? That's fine, I guess. I was gonna say you could put the Frosty up one tile, and then still do this body block, because otherwise Doc Holliday could yoink Frosty, Cupcake on Bo Mangles might be enough damage given that it's Hoploy. Kill Frosty. I mean, that's over 1,300 damage. That's a lot. Kind of a big deal. Not quite enough, though. So can our hero chew through Firkin and Blasto fast enough? Shouldn't be able to kill Firkin here, and then you can... Oh, maybe not. I guess the intent here is just to avoid the AoE hit. How much are you doing? Oh, I guess the Frosty's kind of beat up. It is a 4-0 panic point advantage, so you can just play Ring Around the Rosie. GG. Well played. Yeah, I don't know that it was specifically because it was Graylian. Like, Graylian is a threat, right? You have to respect the Graylian swap. But I think it's more just... You had two things, and they could only stop one. And really, the more important one to stop would have been Frosty, but the positioning was very well done. Alright, we got a longer one. Apolloknox is our hero. How was your day? Hope you had an amazing one. Keep up the good work. Well, I hope you had an amazing day, Apolloknox. And everyone out there watching this. My day was okay. I did a lot of testing for my upcoming tournament. My testing and practice revealed extensive gaps in the strategy, which is not good because I'm a week out and I haven't decided what I'm going to play. And I'm having difficulty carrying. I've talked about it before, but I'm just very frustrated with the current state of Star Wars. Star Wars Unlimited. And as a result, I find it exceedingly difficult to be motivated to play in practice. But I spent, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours today testing. And it reinforced a lot of my priors, which is good. In the sense that, like, yes, I was on the right track. My hypothesis was correct. But that doesn't mean that it got me any closer to solving the riddle that I need to solve. So, it is what it is. I'll probably just play Darth Vader again. I just don't care. I just kind of want the season to be over with. But I also don't want the season to be over with because I do need to get points for the World Championships next year. Like, I'm planning for next July. I don't know. We'll see. All right, picking some stuff off. Bad guy in the center of the map. Once again, we have Happy for no fucking reason. I feel like people just do this to tilt me. I have, like, my stream, as well as people I know in real life, try and tilt me just for the fuck of it. They love doing it. It's like their favorite activity. Which I get it. I do try and play it up and make it amusing. But I wonder how many people are putting Happy on the board just for the express purpose of tilting me. If I played against somebody who put Happy on the board, I probably wouldn't get tilted. And to be honest, my triumphant, or somewhat triumphant, we'll say, return to Phobies may come sooner rather than later, thanks to my misery with Star Wars. And we'll see what the tournament scene looks like. First party tournament scene, I mean. A couple quick picks. The Benny is an interesting choice. It's okay. Every game ends up sucking for some reason or another. I don't even have the energy to argue with people about it. Like, I even said it in a different server in Discord the other day that, it was yesterday, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. People were talking about the draws and the health or like the healthiness or non-healthiness of that existing. And someone goes, oh, nature is healing. We're not arguing about force throw anymore. We're back to arguing about draws. And my response was, well, there's nothing to be said anymore. It's like, if you like it, great. I'm happy for you. I hate it. So. And that's part of the problem with the deck that like, if I play Vader, my day is going to be decided by the matchmaker. If I hit matchups that are good, I win. If I play matchups that are bad, I lose. It's a very linear aggro deck, so there's no really outplaying people. It's like, your win or loss was decided at the deck building phase. So I am reinforcing my own frustration with, I don't want things to be decided by the matchmaker, so I'm playing a deck that is almost entirely decided by the matchmaker. Which sounds silly, but the other ones don't feel the same way? I don't know. I should just play the best deck and just be done with it. I just haven't... I took so long to, like, decide that I'm going to do that now it feels too late. pvz, what's good? So our hero, I don't know. I don't love our hero's position here. They still have 3 keys. I guess bad guy's team is damaged enough that it's possible. Wait, why are we repositioning? Bees! Oh, alright, this looks better. I played a ton of Affinity in a lot of rounds, or how much incidental hate does their sideboard have? Yeah, that's basically what we're talking about. Affinity is a very good analogy, or infect. It's just like, are you boarding for this? Oh, you are? Alright, I lose. Oh, you're not? Alright, easy game, easy life. But I do feel like every matchup is like that. I don't know. Part of it is, I think there is a best deck. I think it is dramatically better than everything else in the format. But I think a lot of people are bad at playing it. And as a result, in general, it looks worse than it actually is. Because there's a bunch of ding-dongs playing it, and they're losing. Don't tell me Street played Creep to Poison Benny. Maybe. It never connected, so... The problem with linear decks is a lot of people will rely on everyone else to just beat those decks. So, like, if you play against it, you might just lose. But that person who's playing the linear deck may run into 3 other matchups that are ass on the day because those people have PTSD from getting beat by it before. That's what happens. So when I said Apollo's position didn't look great, it actually was fantastic. Although they are taking a beating on the heart here. It's not that bad. Triple panic point advantage. Creep isn't exactly the most threatening phobie. Gonna cut it close here, though, because... Oh, the reposition? Is that worth it? I guess bad guy must have done the math. And down goes bad guy. GG. Heads up play there, recognizing the way the math works out, that you're going to be able to go for the heart, as opposed to trying to fight the creep. You might have been able to get the creep too, to be honest. I'm not sure, but GG. All right, what do we got? 1, 2, 3. All right, chat, I'm going to take a quick break. I want to get some more water, and then we'll jump right back in. Don't go away. All right, chat. We are back, so we're going to jump in. Got a few more games. Just a few more. Let's see. Where is it? All right, we got a much shorter game coming at you from Super Piggy. Thank you for the warm welcome last week. Well, you are very welcome. The short game is just meant to get a few laughs so bad guy refuses to understand how abyss tiles work and then has a heart attack. I gotta love some boopage games. Hey, Chomp, will we getting a... I assume that's A pack opening, not S pack opening. Mid for the Phobie expansion update dropping sometime after September. We'll see. Maybe. It's a strong maybe. I'm very interested to see what the update is. I'm at the point where I kind of don't care what the Phobies updates are if they aren't platform related. And by that I mean if we aren't getting tournament updates, if we aren't getting ladder updates, balance changes, stuff like that. Yoink! So it begins. Like, don't get me wrong. I like seeing new Phobies. New Phobies are going to be cool. Yo, Frogman. When was the last time we saw Boggart? I don't even know. Maybe we'll make Boggart the thumbnail. Like, new Phobies are cool and all, and it obviously impacts the game. However... I don't know. I want something to get me excited about me personally playing. And new Phobies are not what's going to excite me. Even new maps are not really going to excite me. It's really just, I can't do ladder. I'm here hoping for an October update after all it's been scheduled to come after the Phobies tournament ends. Is it going to take till October to finish this fucking tournament? That can't be true. If it does, that's ridiculous. Yoink! Sandy said we might get another tournament early next year. Yeah, I heard that there's supposed to be more tournaments. I would like to play in them, but I don't want to play in a single limb tournament. Like, I don't know. The structure that I want is what I was running for Fright Night and Monster of the Week and stuff like that, and I just don't think they have the resources to do that. They really need an in-client tournament system, but that'll also never happen. Because I don't think it's useful enough for them. Tournament is going to end sometime in late September. I can't believe, like, that makes sense given the way they have it set up, but it is crazy to think that this event is going on for like 3 months. Like, that's insane when you think about it, right? Little squiggy action. Squiggles. I don't think ogres... Oh, no. Okay. I swear to God, I thought bad guy was just going to drop ogre on his ass into that abyss tile after the first couple of yoinks. Big yikes. It would have been really funny. Dead ogre, well, dead bad guy. I don't think ogre can die here. I don't think there was enough damage to kill ogre, but it's a 5-0 panic point advantage, and that electric cat has been going ham for like 3 turns now. Oh, you're right. It is dead because you're talking about the Maggie dying. I was thinking in terms of like our hero actively killing it. Of all the games that we've reviewed, that was in fact one of them. I don't know what to say about that one now. That was, as we say in the business, a massacre. Bad guy, in fact, did not seem to understand how abyss tiles worked. Or maybe, more accurately, the interaction between displacement phobies and abyss tiles. Why did it not copy the name? All right, dear H on like and subscribe. Hey, how about that? Massive Blondie debuff, but my push was too good for the opponent to manage in time. It's been, you know what's funny? It's exactly what I expected. You nerf Shove Shark and the other displacement tools, and all of a sudden, Blondie is ass again. Have people been seeing a lot of Blondie on ladder? Because we haven't been seeing him a lot of viewer games. I can tell you that much. I rarely ever see Blondie. Yeah. I think it was cool. Like the experiment of Shove Shark, right? We have a bunch of these cool phobies like Cerberus and Blondie and stuff like that. And they're never getting used, right? Because they're slow. They're incredibly telegraphed. It's just not worth utilizing them, right? So how do we fix that? Well, what if we created a friendly displacement phobie? Enter Shove Shark. Except, what if broken? And then what if still broken after nerf? And then what if eventual nerf, and then, oh yeah, we basically had to patch it out of the game, and now those phobies we were trying to make better, they're ass cheeks again. Who would have thunk it? You know what's funny? Now that I'm thinking about it, Shove Shark is kind of analogous to the issue that I'm having with Force Throw in Star Wars Unlimited. So, you would think that displacement, whether I'm interacting with your guys, we're talking like a Moffat and a Tractor or something like that, and displacement for my guys, where it's Shove Shark or it's, I guess, an Akira pull forward or whatever, should be basically the same. You can position, like counter position, in both scenarios. But I think the threat because of the way Phobies plays, the threat of you being able to dive effectively due to Shove Shark is always going to be greater than the threat of being able to, like, yoink your team, say with an attractor or a Moffat or whatever. Your opponent's team, I mean. Because you're able to represent, like, you have more control over it, I guess. Do you? I don't know, maybe this analogy kind of falls through. People on the Phobies Discord server were asking where dearh was, since it looks like it became a much more rare encounter. He's still here just in these streams. Well, dearh hasn't been submitting like 80 games. So there was a streak where it was the dearh show for weeks on end, which was kind of funny. We are healthier now, I guess. I do. It sounds weird because it's like I'm crapping on dearh, but that's not it. It's that, you know, it's good. It's a good sign that there's more unique people wanting to display their games. Because if there isn't, and it's like one person submitting 100 games, I don't know how much we can extrapolate that for the general population. Because, of course, I'm not a big enough streamer that people are... Most people probably don't even know I exist, especially because I don't put in a lot of effort to, like, advertise or anything. But still, it's, I think it's better when we have a variety of people that want to showcase something. Alright, so we're gearing up for this push. 13 keys for bad guy. This is kind of dangerous. Because you could get the Blondie power down now, right? Because you can fly up paddle, swing in, power down like everybody up to... Oh, you didn't mention the Wuffalo in the... You didn't mention Wuffalo in the notes. There's the Blondie debuff. Shriek. You know what's interesting to me? So we have Alistor, but we don't really have a Banshee phobie. And a Banshee Scream would kind of fit with this debuff, like what Blondie does, better. Right? Like, we don't have anything that we're, other than Alistor, that would even be remotely close to a Banshee phobie, do we? What are we doing here? Are we taking the Unbearable? I mean, you take what you can get, right? Big disease hit. You just can't kill this fucking thing? That's funny. The Gravedigger just won't die because everything's powered down. Yeah, the power down hit was great and all, but there isn't really any damage dealers, or aren't really any damage dealers on bad guy's team. Even forced into killing their own phobie. Big oof. Due to the electrical, it still did like 500, almost 600 damage on each of those hits. Still pretty decent. 290 is less impressive. Down goes Blondie. Yeah, like the composition for bad guy was just way too many support phobies, and realistically, Unbearable is just not very good. It's just not a very good phobie, especially at the level that dearh is playing at. Let alone when your opponent steals it from you via Wuffalo. So does anybody else get confused with the power down animation and the power up animation? I feel like they need to be up and down arrows instead of just like these stress lines that are shooting out of them. I don't like how similar they are. Like, even if they were just different colors. You know, like the disease and poison icon is the same, but one's purple and one's green. So make, like, the lightning bolts that are coming out blue if it's a power down and red if they're a power up or something like that. It feels like it isn't that confusing, I guess. It's more that it stands out to me from having watched literally thousands of Phobies games and played thousands of Phobies games. It stands out to me because of the level of polish that's in so many, like, every area, that feels like an oversight. It's like when Frosty's ability wasn't named Freeze Ray. Like, come on. Pop goes the sucky. GG. Dude, I don't know what's going on with Twitch, but there are so many spam bots showing up now. I'm glad that my bot is able to stay on top of this, because there's so many spam bots now. That's annoying. Yeah, like, I don't know if it notifies you guys. I know Moobot will say that, you know, it warns people, like, don't post a link. And then it times them out. Because that's what the spam bots are doing. They just show up, post a link, and hope somebody clicks on it and they fish someone. But it'll tell me, and it'll end up banning them. Well, the bans have to be manually done, but... Yeah, I mean, it goes through, like, we were fine for a while, and then we'll get, like, a string of spam bots. Alright, so noobsim is submitting a loss here. And because noobsim submitted a loss, first of all, shout out to noobsim. But noobsim says, I'm sure I could smuggle a win somewhere. What did I do wrong? By the way, I got puffed recently. I never used laser phobies. Packs are betraying me. How to use them? How use? The biggest thing with the Blom phobies is you will have to retrain yourself mentally, like looking for specific angles, and there is a level of your opponent has to fuck up. Unless you have displacement phobies, which is clearly going to be one of the easier / better ways to set it up, your opponent has to make a mistake because they're, you know, like, it's an onboard trick, right? It's not like you're vault sniping something. So there was an earlier game where there were a number of Bloms that were pretty good because they're like they're better on big maps because it's easier to lose track of things. And then just go, oh yeah, this guy is accidentally in line with this, and then you can get a free Blom, which isn't necessarily like, oh, I got 1,000,000 damage and I sniped their whole team. It's just, you chip away and chip away and chip away and chip away, and then your opponent is put in progressively worse and worse scenarios. I would say mistake number one is putting Poison Ivy on the board. I don't think this, I don't know about this phobia. I guess it's early enough and it's a small enough map. We'll see. Thoughts on Hercules and Goon potentially getting nerfs? I hope they don't, because I like powerful stuff. But I could certainly see it being reasonable. Like, Goon is probably overstated. Goon is overstated in the same way Boolean was. Hercules I haven't really thought about, because I see him so rarely. I see Hercules so rarely that it just, like, never even comes to mind. So this trap placement isn't bad. So right now you have no way to extend the range on the erratic. And you're going to give your opponent a decent opportunity here to counterplay it. They have 4 keys, but they could easily bank here. Like, flipping one panic point like this, they have the tickles to eat it. We're not putting a ton of pressure on them. Hurricane Goon, because it can mean he's half and half on it. I can absolutely understand people calling for nerfs on those phobies. They're enormous fucking stat sticks. Ooh, that's not good. Alright, let's see how our hero responds. Part of this is without knowing the collections, it's difficult to say, like, oh, well, why didn't you just spawn this guy? That's a bold move, Cotton. This doesn't seem like a very good turn. So yes, you only get 2 phobies hit. Yes, you'll be able to kill the bad sheep. But do you leech enough life to survive this? I highly doubt it, right? The poison and damage on bad sheep are better than sheep and gas. Right? It has to be. Get the takedown. I assume Gravedigger's dead. Oh, Gravedigger's not gonna die. Okay, so we get a quote-unquote free 9 keys there, but you're also giving up 9 keys. Glob? I don't know about that one, Chief. I also don't really like this Poison Ivy positioning. Why is Poison Ivy there? Do you lose the Poison Ivy? If you lose the Poison Ivy here. Okay. The classic mutton chops strategy. Yeah, I don't love the phobie choices. Ignoring the phobies choices, though, for the moment. Like, okay, let's say you're hell-bent on using these phobies, or, you know, these are the only ones you got, which is probably not true for noobsim, but, like, you get the point. I just didn't love that turn where you let them bad sheep. I also don't understand why Poison Ivy was up there, and then not up there, and then up there, and then not up there. Down to 1 key against a fairly healthy team with a not healthy team, and no real way to connect. Like, this erratic is just cooked. Did heal a bunch, but he's absolutely dead. I mean, I don't want to pin it on the phobies choices, but I think it's absolutely the phobies choices. You needed better diving capability. Like, if the Glob and the Poison Ivy were something else... I don't hate the erratic, but obviously you can't let him get sheeping gassed. The problem is the point in the game when you put erratic on the board, I think your opponent had too much opportunity to try and counter it. And if you're going to play... I think erratic is more of... intended to be on a dive-focused team. Like, you want to get in there and fight with erratic. You can't snipe with it, like, poke at them. But then you have Poison Ivy, who wants to play a much more passive game because it's a trap phobie. That being said, I mean, if this Glob connects, maybe. I don't love Numbskull. I'm just not a fan of that phobie in general. If the Shove Shark is live... Wait, what? Interesting. Do you not just die to the Inoculus tearing you apart, even if you get the phobie? Or get the stabby, rather? I feel like you had to kill the Inoculus. Could the... I guess the numbskull couldn't kill the sheeping gas? I mean, at this stage in the game, there was nothing you were gonna do. The game was already over. Wait, what? How? I have never seen that before. I knew that was gonna happen, but I'm just like, I have never fucking seen that before. That is insane. How do you lose this game? Oh, it was a draw! So... Okay, so I don't want to reload it, but like... Maybe we have to. Maybe we have to reload this. I didn't realize this was a draw. I just want to see the end. I think, like, realistically, different phobie choices, a little better positioning on this turn probably puts you in a way better position. I didn't love going after the, sheeping gas here. Like, I'm wondering if there was a way to get Glob to kill this, but then seeing the health total, you probably never kill the sheep. So in retrospect, like, that was fine. Wait, what did you do here? You backed off. They come after you. You snipe it. So I wonder if you back off and force them, they retake the middle, right? And then try and do an end around? Does that work? Probably not, because you're in range the entire time down here. Fun fact, draws are actually worse than losses. How are they worse? Yeah, I don't think you can do the end around here. You only need to connect once. Draws give less tiers than losses. Draws give flat 200. Losses can give 240. That's ridiculous. That's got to get fixed. So you only need to connect with this guy once. Which I guess you do, and then you just died because of the reflect plus dimensional damage. So if you backed off here... Because of where they are, you can't go to here. You can't go here. If you back off to here, they get this panic point, and then now they've locked off the entire part of the map because you'll never approach them. I think what you might want to do is, like, if you go here, then maybe you can bait them to going here. I think what they really do is they just take the panic point and then you're in the same spot. But this gives you a chance to win if they make a mistake. Whereas if you just go in, you always draw. I think that, like I said, the reality is... I think the real answer is different phobie choices earlier in the game. Oh, wow, that doesn't clear. Need a lot of touches on the system. There's a lot of things. I mean, are these things required? Probably not. You know, like, how often does a draw actually happen? I'm sure they happen a lot in general, but as a percentage of overall games, it's got to be very, very low, right? All right, we got kind of a long one on Burning Rings. Zay is back. First game in the Burning Rings. Would you play Phobies ladder? I don't have a problem with playing ladder. I have a problem with playing ladder with ladder being the only thing is the issue for me. Like, I can't grind ladder. I will get bored. That's the problem. Like, when I was playing the Pokemon TCG, the reason I was playing it is because there were both real-life tournaments and digital tournaments. When I was playing Mythgard, I was grinding the hell out of ladder because it was my favorite game at the time. But then eventually they announced tournaments, and I found out that they had a whole tournament system where, like, players were running tournaments and stuff. So I was invested there. I will play a game's ladder for a while, but it is very difficult for me to continue to play ladder if I can't just run on the treadmill. You have 12 Pokemon code cards you haven't used yet. It's actually pretty easy to get them scanned in. They did do a good job with that. But yeah, like, that's my biggest issue with Phobies is grind. Okay, so the level 1 ladder would absolutely be better because at least things are manageable. I think it's very, very silly to zone in, and I'm... Like, the last time I played, it was either I zone in and play Hoploy, or I zone in and play John Phobies, fucking level 1 heebie-jeepie player, and like, in both instances, there's like a 50 or 80 stress level difference. And to be honest, I ended up losing a bunch of games to people who were much worse than me, either collection-wise, play skill-wise, or both, because I just didn't care. Like, it's like, okay, I zone in and they're 40 levels below me, 50 levels below me, 60 levels below me. And I just didn't, like, I don't even want to play this game because it's not a meaningful game. Once made Potenzia change his Discord name to John Sentinel. Haven't heard from Potenzia in a while either. But that's like part of the big problem is that we have these setups that the leveling system is problematic, and we don't have the population on the ladder to regularly get evenly matched games. So that's issue number 1. Issue number 2 is, okay, even assuming we had evenly matched games, at a certain point, it's like, okay, what are we playing for? And I'm not saying that, oh, well, you have to give me a reward to play, but there is a psychological difference, an engagement difference preparing for and playing in a tournament for anything as compared to just playing ladder. It's funny, I don't know, like, if they continue with the format that they're doing for the tournaments, I don't know if it's good. Like, a lot of people complained, oh, hey, a bunch of the Sum of All Fears 3 people knocked each other out in round 1. Would it be better if the Sum of All Fears people crapped on a bunch of heebie-jeebies people and then played each other in the later rounds? It would be better from a spectator perspective. But it would not be... By the way, Bad Guy is just fucking getting annihilated here. Like, what is even happening? Like, this oopsie baby is just going ham. First game on the Burning Rings, and, like, you're smoking this guy. They're definitely going to tweak the format. Like, the best form... They can't do double elim. It will take 1,000 years. And they can't do Swiss because it is too difficult to manage something like that, especially for this size. And I think they're always going to have open formats. But if they're going to do single elim and people have suggested seeding, how are you going to seed the event? Do you intentionally pair Sum of All Fears 3 people because otherwise they are quite clearly going to crap on everyone else? But then they all knock each other out in round 1? And therefore you have a worse event? Like, imagine we get to the finals and it's like Shadow Force versus John Phobies in the finals. That's going to be a fucking slaughter. And it's going to be miserable for everyone involved. I mean, John Phobies may not realize and, like, think they're hot shit because they made it to the finals of the tournament, even though they got fucking murked. But it's also possible that they do realize and go, holy shit, I am not prepared for this, and I just got blown out. Ooh, we get a little heebie-jeebies special, speaking of heebie-jeebies. I mean, tournaments are like that. You're going to walk in and you're going to get your ass beat if you are not one of the best players in there. And even if you are, you might get your ass beat because you played against one of the other best players in there and they happen to be better than you. But there is a level of consideration to take under advisement that, well, you need to make it fun for people so that they want to play. Is that a dead pterodactyl? Oh, buddy. Oh. Do you think bones should auto-die on weird tiles like that? Do bones auto-die on poison tiles? We haven't had a poison tile map, it feels like, in rotation. And, well, I guess we watched Hall of Mirrors earlier, but, like, almost nobody uses Resurrect Phobies, so it's such a rarity. Resurrect has the potential to be so powerful that I kind of understand why they have all these caveats for it. Ooh, Octonaughty. Bad Guy says, hey, that displacement looks pretty good. Pop goes to Jeremy. Bad Guy could set up something rather mean. Ooh. Okay. I like the aggression. You love to see it. Rambolina plus 2.0 is lethal here, I heard. That's 13 keys. But it is a big map. I could definitely see that being the case. Like, boop into boop. But that still seems like it would be difficult to set up. And contingent on your opponent not having access to something to disable the lava tiles, or just not caring if they're on the lava tiles. That's not a huge amount of damage output. I don't know, it does sound pretty cool. I mean, there's a ton of abyss tiles. Boops are great. But that seems like a lot of effort to set up. Not gonna lie, Burning Rings is really uninteractive. I bet it won't be long before the community starts disliking this map. I mean, this particular game was extremely one-sided for the most part. The early Oopsie Baby bad guy quite clearly had never seen that phobie before, because they just got mollywopped. But I'm curious why you say that it is uninteractive. Like, what do you typically see on this map that causes you to say that? Gabe! Great Ginger Gabe, welcome back. Greetings. This is like some really weird damage just... Oh, never mind. It was going to die to the lava tile. I thought it was going to live through that. Either way, our hero just cooked bad guy. It's mostly players making mega teams or being unsure of how to attack without getting wiped. That sounds like people unfamiliar with the map, not that the map is necessarily bad. I mean, I think that this map is probably standoffish because of the way the center is configured. Like, if you try and dive your opponent, it is really like, if you're standing on opposite sides of the map, it is extremely difficult to get to your opponent, right? Like, nothing's going to reach. So that means you have to take a break in the middle, and if you do, that's a free, like, 400-something damage on there. And that assumes your team can even back you up at that stage. So, I don't know. I can definitely see it. I haven't seen enough of the map, but it does have the hallmarks of something being problematic. All right, chat. Last game of the evening. Like and subscribe once again. This time with PvZ. Ah, free at last. O Gabriel, dawn thy reckons you. Upon the brilliance of man, creature of shade, my gratitude upon thee for my freedom. But the crimes thy user has committed against bees are not forgotten, and thy punishment is frosty. Stay frosty. I appreciate the poetic intro. You've been pulled back into the Phobies orbit. Did you hear about the first-party tournaments? Tournament, singular, at least right now. Phobies team is running tournaments now. Which is pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting. Yeah, I mean, it's already well underway, and it's going to take a long time to finish, but the word on the street is that they are going to run more in the future. All level 1. The format can use work. We were just talking about that before you joined in. But for a first foray, like, I can't really fault them. If I were in their position, I think I would... Like, if I were advising them prior to this tournament, they didn't ask me, but if they did, I probably would have told them to do this. Like, just do single elim, arena or async, run it over whatever period is manageable. Creep stocks have been rising up lately. We did have a lot of creeps tonight. A lot of creep. But yeah, oh, wait, what? I was about to continue my other thought, but then I saw Chuck. Battle of the Three Rangers here. Bad guy, oddly enough, like, bad guy wants the blocks to hide their Chuck, whereas our hero wants the blocks gone for line of sight, and neither of them really have what they want. Alright, Chuck repositioning here makes sense. How are we going to claim the middle? Little zappy action. I do agree with Karst, we need more Brave Little Toaster phobies. Brave Little Toaster related phobies. Hercules! I wonder if, as I'm watching this, I had the thought of, like, for general phobies design, in terms of people asking for Hercules or Goon nerfs, like, you want powerful phobies, you want games to end, so you need things to be powerful enough that, like, oh, I put this thing on the board, this is my beat stick, I'm gonna close the game with it. But that feels bad if, like, the level disparity, or somebody even gets slightly ahead, and then it's like, oh, well, I put this thing on the board that's so powerful that you have to sacrifice so much tempo and so many resources that, you know, it's like a race to whoever slams it on the board first sort of thing, and that's not fun. So the question is, can you make phobies that are good come from behind phobies? Like, Ogre was an attempt, but, like, what if the whole Ginsting family had even lower single target damage, but higher AoE ability damage? The problem is the way most Phobies games play out, you could walk up, do the ability, walk away. So I wonder if some of the ranged Phobies with ranged abilities should then have their abilities change to be melee. So, like, Ginsting plants himself and then spews out all the bees, sort of thing. That way you could have a higher ranged attack, but in order to do the thing that you really want him to do, he has to be vulnerable. I haven't really thought this out. This is literally coming to me as I'm watching this game. Because the biggest thing with Phobies is that because it's so deterministic, as compared to, say, playing a card game where you shuffle up a deck of cards, and you... Why did you put Sucky out here? Like, what is happening? But, like, say you played a card game, you have a deck of cards that's randomized. Some of the cards will be good in the particular game you're playing, some of them will be worse. If you happen to draw all the quote-unquote bad ones, you'll lose no matter how good the matchup is. Like, you could be 100 times better than that person. This could be a matchup that you should, quote-unquote, never lose. But if you draw all your bad cards and they draw all their good cards, they'll win, right? Generally speaking. Because there's variance in that game. It may be 99 times out of 100 you win, but there is a chance that 1 in 100, they win. In Phobies, it is 100% deterministic. The better player should win 100% of the time, like chess. And it is possible that a singular mistake, like an innocuous mistake, will snowball super duper hard. And I don't know that we want to get rid of that. Like, say you put a 1 key out of position early in the game, and then you lose 10 turns later, 20 turns later, because you weren't able to either chip something down, take a panic point when you wanted to, whatever. I don't think we want to lose that. This is a great Blom. Yikes, bad guy, getting smoked here. Oh, got him. Man, bad guy got annihilated by this Akira. I still don't love that Akira does pulls on both sides. I kind of wish it would only do one side. And then maybe you could put it back to the way it used to be. Probably not, but... I kind of wish that I could get access to, like, the animations. Because putting Oopsie Baby when its head is, like, reconfiguring back into the doll head, but it's still bugs, would be kind of cool. Like, imagine that on a thumbnail, how creepy that would be. Bees! Murder of bees! Yeah, like, that one Akira button press was the game. And honestly, that Akira button press might have worked even with some of the previously proposed Akira nerfs, where it's, like, more localized as opposed to the whole map. I wonder if you can do, like, a conical Akira pull, maybe. Or make Akira a Blom effect, so it's a line? I don't know. Power down on top of it just to add insult to injury. Bad guy in dire straits. Well done. Very well played. I mean, I know technically it's not over, but this shit is over. GG. Well played. Alright, chat. That's gonna do it for tonight. That's 10 games. We do have a Painful Fate game still in the queue, but we can save that for next week. Definitely some fun games. I'm excited to see this update that's coming, even though we still have like a month at least before we're gonna see it. Like I said, I'm more interested in seeing what platform updates they happen to add, that sort of thing. I don't know. We shall see. But that's going to do it for tonight, chat. So as always, everybody, thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and tune in next time for more Random Thoughts.